TFL EV is brought to you by Flow Charger, maker of reliable, high-quality charging stations for your electric vehicle.
Howdy folks, what you're looking at here is Volkswagen's answer to an awful lot of very streamlined sedans that are coming out in the United States, including the Hyundai Ioniq 6. This is the 2024 Volkswagen ID.7. Now there's two of them. There's the Pro and the Pro S. And we're going to talk about battery size because they are big, and we're going to talk about range, which is also big. But you should understand that what you're looking at isn't quite available here yet. It's going to be available in China and Europe in 2023, and then in the United States in 2024. Final numbers and pricing and everything else will come a little bit later, plus hopefully a few test drives. And if Roman's in the car, test drives with a lot of hair product and some teeth whitening. Let's have a look at the vehicle from the side because this is very interesting. What you're looking at here is not a hatchback, not really. It is a lot bigger than the ID.4. The ID.4, think of it as a first effort, first try, at least in the United States. And this is something that is completely different. Now, its overall size is 195.3 inches long, 73.3 inches wide. It's not small, guys. Actually, it's pretty darn close to the size of a Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Now, the reason why? Well, one of the reasons is this door. We'll get to that in a second. But there's a second reason. China. That's right. So in China, which I've been looking to, I've been there 4 times. They love backseat space. You're not going to believe this. Come here. So when they built this car, they decided they were going to do it one step away from being a limousine. That is a big back seat. And it affords good headroom, good legroom, really good legroom, even for giraffes that work at TFL. So despite how tall all of us are, this will actually fit us, which is not something I can say about an awful lot of electric cars we've recently tested. So let's go to the back. Wanted to show you this. Now, this is, yes, related to the ID.4, but essentially this is an all-new vehicle, or almost all new. So, yeah, there are some components that are shared, but for the most part, this is a different type of architecture based on the MEB platform, stretched with bigger batteries. I was talking about the batteries, so come on over here, and huzzah, look at that. Yeah, that's not for CCS yet. This is the European version, but the American version will have quick charging. That's pretty slick right there, isn't it? Okay, so let's look at the car from this side, and let's talk about those batteries. Now, there are 2 batteries available. There's the Pro and the Pro S. The Pro gets you, and by the way, they're all rear-wheel drive for now. We'll talk about all-wheel drive in the future, I think. You get a 91 kilowatt hour battery. Now its net is 86 kilowatts. And then I guess you could call it lesser, but it's still huge, 82 kilowatt hour battery, which net is 77 kilowatt hours. All new electric motor feeding the rear wheels in this vehicle, 210 kilowatt motor. And it actually produces quite a bit of power, 282 horsepower, 402 pound-feet of torque. And yes, one motor for the rear wheels. WLPT, which is Worldwide Light Vehicle Test Procedure, in other words, European spec numbers, say that this could do 435 miles on the big battery, 382 miles on the smaller battery. And once it comes here, the EPA, well, they tend to be a little bit more strict. So those miles, I'm guessing, are going to be very competitive with the Ioniq 6 and the Tesla Model Y and the Model 3. Although this is honestly about the size of a Model S. This thing is really big. Let me give you, look at this. Big fat guy at TFL. Look how big this car is. Better yet, let's go inside. It's huge. By the way, the drag coefficient that based on the model is 0.23. That's better than many sports cars. Why don't you hop around and we'll look at the interior, including this, what is it, 15-inch infotainment screen. It's huge. Oh, it made a pretty noise when you opened the door. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Oh, it did it again. You hear that? It was thumping. All right, that's cool. Now, this is pre-production for the United States. There may be a couple changes in terms of what you're looking at, but for the most part, all new, right? So the ID.4 honestly was a little bit mellow on the inside. Not very intuitive either. This is all different, baby. Everything from the augmented reality heads-up display, which I will bring the camera over and show you guys in a minute. This 15-inch screen and a whole bunch of other stuff, including, and I kid you not, a Climatronic available level 2 massaging seat. The Germans won't let me play with it right now because I've been naughty, but I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to do that. It sounds really amazing. Heated and ventilated seats, of course, 2 cup holders as opposed to 1. A lot more space inside altogether than the ID.4. And if you bring the camera and then look straight up, you're going to see a very interesting roof. Now, essentially what you do is you charge that and it will go from being this opaque color, well, opaque glass. It's not foggy, trust me. And it'd go totally clear at the push of a button. It just does that. Also, a lot of the components in here can be voice activated, which is important to note. So, what do we think of the new interior? Well, it's definitely an improvement over the old one. And the car itself is a lot more premium feeling, like Audi level premium compared to the ID.4. But we have yet to drive the upcoming one here in the States, and it may be different. Now, this is built in Germany, so that could mean that when we get ours, it'll still be German. As such, perhaps high levels of quality. There are some interesting little components here. First of all, these look like switches, but they are actually, yeah, see that? It's a screen, so swiping to move things. Ooh, got the air going. Some of you guys like this, some of you guys don't, but this is the direction a lot of these cars are going into right now in terms of making them far, I don't know, easier to use for some people. But there's, at least with this model, once again, I don't know if this is what the actual production model is going to be, there's no tactile response to me hitting minus or turning down the climate control. I hear a little tone, but I don't feel anything. It's not shutting off either. So, sorry guys if you're hearing a torrent of air, that's my fault. Okay, let's go out to the outside, come back around, and I want to show you guys the heads-up display system. Oh, it made that sound again. All right, now let's see if I can get that screen to come on. There it goes. Now let me see if I can grab the camera from the poor camera person. There, can you see augmented reality heads-up display? Oh yes, that's pretty cool. So this is something that is standard now in these vehicles. So it is going to be a new thing for you to play with. I honestly don't know all the things it can do, but essentially it's going to be able to throw up a variety of different bits of information up there. And as you can see, if I move the camera around, it's far more flexible in terms of your eye line, whereas in other head-up displays tend to cut off the minute you move it the wrong way. So that's something worth noting. All right, I'm gonna pop the trunk and we're gonna leave this poor car alone after that. Now I don't have specs on how much room there is in the trunk, but I did want to show you this because you do have a split folding seat there plus a pass-through. Quite a bit of space here. That's almost the size of the Arlington, but perhaps a little bit smaller. Now let's have a look-see under here. Yep, there's a little bit more storage room under there. And, aha, charger. let's talk about charging real quick because this vehicle does have it. Yes, I'm going to be using my notes because I want to get this right. DC fast charging. So on the Pro, it's 170 kilowatts, and then the Pro S is 200 kilowatts. So it's pretty quick. The overall package of the vehicle, in terms of pricing, in terms of what it's going to be doing here in the United States, in terms of sales states, and its overall capability is on the road. All of that is obviously going to have to wait just a little while. But I think that in the very near future, TFL will be covering this vehicle and giving you a full review. So stand by. And if I were Hyundai or Tesla, you might want to look out. See ya.